after we have marked the Ethiopian plateau and shaded it, it will look like this. So finally, we have marked all the features that we had learnt about in the last class in the high plateau of the south. That is your Ethiopian plateau, your Namib Desert, and your Kalahari Desert, along with Mount Kilimanjaro. But we have still not marked the lakes that we had learnt about that lie in the same high plateau of the south. So now we'll be marking or shading the lakes. While learning about the plateau in the south and the Great Rift Valley, we had learned that many freshwater lakes such as Lake Malawi, your Lake Tanganyika and Turkana are found here. Now we need to mark the Lake Tanganyika and Lake Malawi, which is very clearly shown in our maps. Properly shade the two lakes, that is your Lake Tanganyika and your Lake Malawi, and then clearly mark it with an arrow because there is no place to write it inside. So we clearly will be writing Lake Tanganyika. Now if you have any problem in learning the spelling or the pronunciation, simply just break it into three parts, that is Tang, Any and Ika. So you will easily learn the spelling of Tanganyika. And Lake Malawi is pretty simple, Mala and V. So here we have the Lake Tang, Eni and Ika or Tanganyika, and here we have the Lake Malawi clearly marked. So we have four prominent lakes which we have marked in our map. That is Lake Chad, that is an inland drainage area. We'll be learning about that again. Lake Victoria, from where the river Nile is originating. Then we have Lake Tanganyika and Lake Malawi. Here we see a lot of lakes like your Lake Turkana and your Lake Kivu, but we are not marking all of them so that our map is not too smudged up. We are only marking the most important ones. Let us move forward and mark the two most important rivers also that we'll be learning about today, and we have been hearing them while we are learning about the physical divisions of Africa. So very neatly, if you have a blue color pencil or a blue crayon, just shade the line which you have already traced from your map, or you have downloaded the map which I have given. The choice is all yours. After you have shaded the course of the river, what you're going to do is simply take a pen. In bold letters, you're going to write the name of the river on top of it. So here we clearly write River Zambezi, one of the most important rivers of Africa. And now we'll be marking, or in fact shading, the course of the river Zaire, that is the Congo River, and then we'll be marking it properly. We will neatly shade the course of the river and write River Congo on top of it very, very neatly. So now this is how our map is going to look now, and make sure you have all the markings done in bold letters so that your spellings are clearly visible when you send the map to your teacher. Make sure you either download the map, the plain map which I have already posted in the previous classes, or you download any physical plain map from the net also. If you can't download, you have the map in your books, you can simply trace it and then you can fill it up exactly like I have filled it up for you. So today we conclude the marking of the map of Africa, and in the next class we will be continuing with how to mark the Great Rift Valley on a map. Let us continue with the most important table of rivers which is given in your textbook itself. They are discussing the rivers Nile, Congo, Niger, Zambezi and Orange. We have marked all of them in our map by now. That is your river Nile, your river Congo, your river Niger, Zambezi and Orange. So now we already know the location of these rivers. So while we are studying it with the table, we will have no difficulty in understanding the source and the mouth. Now we already remember what is the source, that is the originating point, and mouth where the river course ends. So here when we look at the table, we'll find four headings. That is your source of the river, tributaries, that is the rivers which are joining it and giving it more water, and the special feature, if any, of these rivers, and the mouth of the river, that is where the river is ending. Let us clearly understand this table to learn it thoroughly with the help of the map that we have already prepared. Now here when we read about the river Nile, that it rises in the equatorial region in Lake Victoria. We have already studied that. And here we can see the river Nile originating in Lake Victoria, ending or the mouth in the river forms a delta along the mouth in the Mediterranean Sea. Now this is the same fact you will read in your table. The special feature, it is the longest river in the world, and we are all aware about it. Tributaries, as we have always been mentioning them but not marking in the map, that is the Blue Nile and the White Nile, which rises in the Ethiopian highland. So here I have actually put a whitener over it, but here when we had marked, I'll show it to you in the other map. Now this is the tributary, that is the Blue Nile, which is joining the main Nile River, and it rises in the Ethiopian plateau. Next mentioned is the river Congo. Now they have said that this river Congo has its origin or the source in your Lake Tanganyika. And we have already marked our Lake Tanganyika, but as you can see how huge the river Congo is, and it has too many tributaries to mark in the map. So what we have marked in the map is just the main course, and we have not joined it to Lake Tanganyika, but we should know that the source is Lake Tanganyika. Here is our Lake Tanganyika, and here is the river Congo, and as you saw in the map, it has too many tributaries to make or mark on a map. The next river, or in fact, sorry, the Congo River, the source Lake Tanganyika, tributaries Ubangi and Kasai. Now, these are the two major tributaries, or the ones which are contributing most water to it. And the mouth is the South Atlantic Ocean, and as we already know, it is ending into the, so we can easily mark an arrow and understand that it is moving towards the South Atlantic Ocean. Here, the third one is your river Niger. It rises in the highlands in the west, and tributary Beni, largest river in the West Africa. Now we need to understand this term, largest river in the West Africa, not of the entire Africa, but only in the West Africa. Now this is our river Niger that we are talking about. Now here you can see this is the only river here in the Western Africa along your western side of Africa, and this is what they have mentioned. It rises in the highlands in the west. It is the largest river in the West Africa. It is ending, or the mouth of this river is in the Gulf of Guinea. As you can see, we made a delta out here, and delta formations are at the mouth of the rivers only. It forms a small delta. Here, exactly like your Nile is also forming a delta while it is ending into the Mediterranean Sea. Similarly, your river Niger also forms a delta while it is ending or flowing into the Gulf of Guinea. Next is the Zambezi River. It rises in the highlands of southwest Africa. What do we mean by that? We have already learned that this area is the southern plateau, that is the high plateau of the south area. And here again we have the Zambezi River, which is rising along the highlands of southwest Africa. Now here the tributaries are your Wando, Afi, Shire, and the Victoria Falls are a major feature in this river. That means the Victoria Falls on this river is the world's largest by volume. That means the maximum quantity amount of water that falls in a waterfall is found in the Victoria Falls in the Zambezi River. And the mouth of this river is the Mozambique Channel. So when we look at the location, we see that this is the Zambezi River. It is rising in the highlands of the south or the southern plateau, and it is flowing towards your Mozambique Channel. So now we know the direction of the flow. It is moving towards this channel. So it will be, this is your mouth of the river. This is your source of the river. The next river that is mentioned is the River Orange. It rises in the Drakensberg Mountains. We have already marked our Drakensberg Mountain. We already know that the River Orange is there. Nothing new. And the tributaries they have mentioned is Vaal and Molopo. You need to learn the names, children. Please don't forget. The special feature of this river is that it forms Namibia's southern border with South Africa. Now this here, when we had marked the Namib Desert, we already know about the country out here, that is Namibia. So it is marking the southern border of Namibia. The mouth of this river is your South Atlantic Ocean. We already know here we have the South Atlantic Ocean. So if we need to mark the flow of this river, we can simply mark the arrow towards your South Atlantic Ocean. So now if I have a question, name any two rivers in your southern Africa which are flowing towards or which have their mouth in South Atlantic Ocean. So you'll be easily naming your river Congo and your river Orange. You can also name your river Niger, but before entering the South Atlantic Ocean, it is entering into the Gulf of Guinea. So we have another water body which you have before South Atlantic Ocean. The ocean is a wide water body. So if I simply ask about the water body, the first water body these two rivers are entering is your South Atlantic Ocean. Similarly, if I ask which river drains into the Mozambique Channel or ends into or it has its mouth towards your Mozambique Channel, so you will be naming your river Zambezi. There can be multiple questions which can be asked based on this maps. That is why we took so much time to just finalize this much of a map. And this is just the basic map of Africa. It's a huge continent. It has many more features and it has lovely rivers flowing in it and the tributaries along with it. But we are just marking the basics right now. And we are only going to learn the basics today. So, and the questions based on these, we'll be giving you a revision again in the next class based on the same map that we have finalized today. We have already done one revision on the map, but we'll be doing it completely with a complete map that we have done today. I'll be putting up a revision assessment in the next class in the form of a Google form only. So make sure you learn all the spellings correctly and you will be writing all your answers in capital letters only.